Okay, what's up, everybody? So this is just a first impressions video of the new WoW. If you're not familiar with this series, basically I just play the god for the first time. Which actually this is not the first time; it's like the third time. But I just had to get the feel of everything, so I'm not like just feeding this robot overall. So this is not any type of guide or anything. Like I said, it's just my kind of initial impressions. This is the public test server, so things in this video are, or the abilities rather in this video are, subject to change when coming to full release. Meaning, like, she may get nerfed, buffed, rebalanced, fixed around. But so far, after playing her a few times, her lane clear early on is actually really good, and she has quite a bit of a stun. Let's try out her ulti here. Boom, there we go. Okay, so yeah, like I said before, her lane clear and pushing is really good. I say maybe even better than what she was before, but don't really quote me on that. I'm not an expert on this new WoW, but that's just how I'm getting the feel for her right now. Now, if you want to see the abilities, I'm going to bring up all the abilities. Feel free to pause the video if you want, so you can read all the abilities. I'm not going to go over each and every one of them. So let's use that. So what I thought was pretty cool is how they kept, her 1 and 2 abilities, just like, her mysterious fog and her clay soldiers. But she no longer has that. Her 3 is no longer that fire thing that you drop and it just stun. It's now like just a direct purple missile. And what's pretty cool about it is you can combo it and use your minions. Let me actually say it making sense. So, if you have your clay soldiers in front of you and you throw your shining metal, it will detonate on that minion and causing AoE damage and actual additional damage. So if you look here, New WoW launches a mass of shining metal, damaging all enemies it hits. If it hits one of her clay soldiers, it explodes, dealing additional damage and stunning enemies. Now, there's the base damage, just a minion explode damage, and then there's the stun, up to 2-second stun. And also, her other stun is her passive. So every 5 basic attacks, which you can see right above my portrait on the bottom there, every 5 basic attacks, the 6th one would be a root. If you look here, the passive, a root for 1.5 seconds. So ideally, you could play her pretty aggressively, like just run up onto somebody, drop your clay soldier, detonate it, and then if you by chance have your passive, you can root them yet again, just like so. And they can't really go anywhere. So combined, that's a pretty long chain. I mean, you could be just sitting down there for 3.5 seconds, just a utter root, not a mesmerize, not like Akuma sleeping mesmerize, but more of just a defined root. So that's pretty scary. She's definitely would be a beast when she's fed. Now, some people may be wondering about her mysterious fog. As you see there, it travels on its own. So basically, wherever you're facing, you hit your 1 or whatever, and it just starts going that direction. So it doesn't really follow you at all. Now, it does more damage than what it did before. Like before, people wouldn't really use New WoW's fog as a damaging, more of like stealth, increased movement speed, escaping, and all the other fun stuff. Now it does okay damage. So enemies that run into the fog take damage and continue to take 20% of that damage again every second they're in the fog. So they take the initial damage and then take 20% of that damage continuously. It also increases your movement speed by 10% if you continue to be in there. So let's try this again. Detonate that. Root him again. Let's try just using our ulti again. Boom. Ulti doesn't do that much damage, obviously, early game. An interesting thing is comboing her ulti with Soul Reaver. If you're not familiar with Soul Reaver, let me pull it up here. I was testing this out earlier. So Soul Reaver, the passive, when a god takes damage from your abilities, they take 15% of their maximum health and additional damage. So if you can combine that Soul Reaver with your ulti, that's pretty hard hitting, because that Soul Reaver would, I would imagine, hit everybody, right? Because, I mean, it is a global ulti, so I'd imagine that Soul Reaver would affect every single body all at once. Which in that case, that could be pretty devastating. Oh, see, yeah, that explosion just does a lot of damage. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. The clay soldiers, they don't do that great of damage. I'm not sure how tanky they were before because I'm not a new WoW player myself. I haven't mastered, but that's about it. So these soldiers have 200 HP plus 20% of new WoW's maximum health. They may be a little bit more tanky than they once were. I don't know. Maybe they haven't changed that. Also, enemies hit by their initial charge will take damage and have their magical protections reduced. So it scales from like 5 points to 25 points to 2 seconds max X3. So I mean, that's pretty big, up to what, like 75 points of magical protection reduction. That's that's something else. So let's go ahead and try to. Okay, minions move that away. So I don't know how exactly you build this new wall. I guess you can still go a little bit more attack speed if you want to take full advantage of that route. So you can just go, you know, just pure attack speed, like have Haste Mentalis, Demonic Grip, Telekinesis Ring, whatever, or Telekinesis Ring, however you pronounce that, and just keep rooting people with that. Now, of course, that does take a little bit more, you know, skill trying to do that. I mean, the fog does decent minion damage. If you're like late game, like your fog will just clear everything by itself. Okay, I don't like being blinded. Okay, yeah, Robot's gonna kill me. So overall, do I think she's OP or not? It's kind of hard to say without playing her in the actual match, but I do feel like she is really powerful. That lane clear push is really strong. The ulti is not strong in itself early game. I feel like it's more of a late game, and like I said before, Slow Reaver would be very interesting on that ulti. Mysterious Fog doesn't do much damage, only late game. Okay, he's juking me all day. I do like that passive though. That may be like one of the main OP things is this the chain reaction routes. That can be pretty annoying. But I feel like as far as level progression, I've been mainly putting all my points to my 3, and then putting a couple in my 1, and then 2 last. Jungling is quite interesting. Let's just summon those clay soldiers, detonate it. I mean, that did fairly good damage. I'm not a jungler, so I don't know what's all good and not. I mean, I wouldn't really imagine you play a new WoW jungle anyway. But as far as getting your own buffs, I don't think it would be that bad. So let's try this again. Let's put those on, detonate it, get into our ulti. Boom. It's basically like, it's sort of like a Rama's ulti, except you land it every single time. Of course, the damage is obviously different. So that's going to wrap it up for the video. Don't make it too long and just start ranting. But let me know what you guys think of this new WoW in the comment section below. See you guys next time. Peace.